I'm Dr. Mavis Tsai, your host for Confluence of Hearts, a global summit on true self, brave connections, in a love-led world. Producing this summit has been both a daunting and exhilarating endeavor for me. I feel incredibly privileged to have had the opportunity to interact with world-renowned luminaries who address topics related to personal growth and self-improvement, emotional well-being and mental health, practical life skills, philosophical and spiritual insights, cultural and social evolution, and community and global impact. These categories encompass a diverse array of approaches enhancing individual well-being, cultivating deep connections, and addressing global challenges through personal and collective action. I was inspired not only by the intellectual genius of each speaker, but also graced by their vulnerability and humanity. Each interview was precious to me, something I will always cherish, and I'm thrilled to be able to share these unforgettable conversations with you. As the host of this summit, in addition to interviewing all these incredible speakers, I have the opportunity to present on a topic deeply important to me, to a very large audience. But I'm innately shy. In fact, I attended Toastmasters for years to work on being more comfortable speaking in front of audiences. And right now, I'm out of my comfort zone because I'm doing something I've never done before, which is to give a talk to a camera with no one in front of me. I want to start by dedicating this summit to my beloved late spouse, Robert or Bob Kohlenberg. Some of you may be familiar with Bob and me as being the co-creators of functional analytic psychotherapy, or FAP. FAP is an innovative treatment approach based on contextual behavioral science. It focuses on the power of genuine present moment connections between therapist and client. In developing FAP, we learned a lot about the nature of disconnection, how to overcome it in order to reconnect to ourselves, our yearnings and passions, and to others. In fact, the importance of social connection to our health, emotional and physical well-being, and sense of fulfillment cannot be overstated. Research in 148 studies with over 300,000 people has shown that isolation, loneliness, or the sense of being disconnected is as detrimental to our health and longevity as much as excessive smoking, and more so than obesity, excessive drinking, or chronic exposure to air pollution. Due to the epidemic numbers of people feeling alone and lost, we distilled FAP down to its core components of awareness, courage, and love, or ACL, and created the ACL Global Project to enable anyone, not just those who seek therapy, to practice the connection skills that we have scientifically validated. In focusing on awareness, we commit to deep noticing, being, and listening, to curiosity, tenderness. We commit to understanding that our reactions are shaped by our life histories. Courage is being willing to take a risk or do something important when the outcome is uncertain. In terms of love, we differentiate between self-love and other love, and the essential interplay between the two. Self-love involves taking in what's beautiful about ourselves, valuing our own wonderful qualities. Self-love involves engaging in activities that soothe, rejuvenate, or give us pleasure. A really important part of self-love is being able to let others' love in. Contrary to the principle that we often hear about, that we need to love ourselves before we can love others, it's actually important to recognize that it's very challenging to generate self-love in a vacuum. As Rumi said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So letting others love in is a very integral part of self-love. As for loving others, it's important to recognize that people are doing the best that they can in any given moment. Loving others also involves giving generously, or it involves setting limits depending on their growth needs and your own, and to express your love in ways that they can receive. A number of our featured speakers have great expertise to share on love, so I'm going to delve more into the quality of courage. I truly believe what the great poet Maya Angelou said, that courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. Often we think of courage as a singular force, a one-dimensional trait that's either present or absent. But in reality, courage has multiple dimensions and pathways. I propose that there are two distinct paths to access this vital quality. One by moving towards your darkness, which is very challenging, and one by moving towards your light. I'm going to give you an example of each from my own life, and then give you some contemplation questions so you can be more aware of your personal calls to courage. Moving towards your darkness involves confronting the aspects of ourselves that we may fear the most. This journey is marked by really difficult challenges: pain, heartbreak, loss, traumas, fears, shame, insecurity, and other emotions we often avoid. But I want to emphasize that these experiences aren't just obstacles. They are the very materials we work with on the path of the heart. As author Matt Licata states, for inside the broken is a wisdom found only there. Sadness has something to show you that joy could never provide. Inside aloneness is a secret offering that can never be found in connection. Hopelessness, when entered, reveals meaning that hope is unable to reveal. There is an indistinguishable unity between our raw, tender feelings and the flow of wisdom. Each is made of the same substance. So our pain, our sorrow, and our deepest wounds are not mere blocks to our spiritual awakening. They're not enemies to be destroyed or problems to be fixed. They are, in fact, portals. Our very darkness guides us home. I want to tell you about my own darkness that I've been facing for the past 2.5 years since I lost Bob, my partner in life, love, and work. Part of me just wanted to go into fetal position, sob until the world went away. My heart felt shattered into a million pieces, and I felt his presence and absence everywhere. The days, weeks, and months that followed were a blur. What I know is that I intentionally opened my grief as much as I could. And with it, I felt so much gratitude for the lifetime of love that I was able to experience with him, and for the incredible love that my cherished friends and community members bestowed on me. That was healing nectar for my soul. I'm especially indebted to two people who kept me afloat during this time. Barbara Kohlenberg, Bob's daughter, was a companion in grief. We understood each other's ache like no one else could. The other person who's been there for me every step of the way, who's helped me find my way from darkness back to light, is my best friend, Valerie Frillick. I don't know how my spirit would have been able to survive this loss without her at my side. So it really helped me to let myself be surrounded by love and to grieve with those who also felt the pain of Bob's loss. Like I said, I mostly tried to face my pain directly. And when I needed a pause, I would delve into my work or Kajikembo, my martial art. And I knew that this journey of healing wasn't undertaken only for myself. In a world with so much darkness, committing to shining our light more brightly not only transforms us, but it also illuminates the path for others. If you're willing, I invite you to be with the questions that I'm about to pose about facing your darkness. You can have one of several responses to this invitation. It can be, no, I don't have the emotional responses, the emotional resources, or the interpersonal support to look at my darkness now. Or, oh, maybe I can do it a little bit. I'll give it a try. But I reserve the right to pause at any time. Or, yes, I have the support and emotional resources I need in order to delve deeply into my darkness and to take breaks when needed. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. The best way is to listen to yourself, to be extremely gentle and tender, and to be aware of your safety needs. These are the questions I invite you to consider. What is your sense of what your darkness wants you to cast light on? What wounds, what traumas, what fears? I invite you to consider this question from different aspects of you. What's your mind telling you about your darkness, about what you need to face? What is your heart telling you? What is your body telling you? What is your spirit telling you? You can pause the recording if you would like to just take some time to write down your answers to these questions. So what's your sense of what your darkness wants you to cast light on? What wounds, what traumas, what fears, and what is your mind, heart, body, and spirit tell you in terms of how they would answer this question? So again, you can pause the recording or you can come back to these questions at another time. Your time frame, whatever speed you choose to face your darkness, is the right pace for you. Another question related to darkness, which is really essential. Who are the people that you want to support you as you navigate this path towards your darkness? And how do you want each person to support you? Again, check in with your mind, your heart, your body, and your spirit, and pause the recording if you want to jot down your thoughts. Now that we've spent some time facing your darkness, know that it's intertwined with your path of courage to light. So let's directly look at your path to light. Moving towards your light means engaging with your strengths, passions, and the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. It's about pursuing dreams, seizing opportunities, and expressing your true self. This path requires courage because it usually involves risk, stepping into the unknown or the possibility of failure. Embracing what we love and allowing ourselves to fully engage with it can be really scary because it makes us vulnerable to loss and disappointment. As spiritual leader Marianne Williamson said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve the world. We are all meant to shine. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. I'm also guided by what Martin Luther King said about how our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. So back in 2016, I engaged in the risk that required the most courage for me in my life. It was to start the Awareness, Courage, and Love Global Project. As I was saying earlier, functional analytic psychotherapy, or FAP, is a treatment that focuses on the authentic in the moment connection between therapist and client as the path to healing and growth. And there was a huge bottleneck between supply and demand for this therapy. I felt this soul calling that I needed to bring the main principles of FAP, which I've said are awareness, courage, and love, to the general public without requiring people to be in therapy. I believe in the wisdom of individuals to be able to help one another heal and grow with these same principles that were used in therapy, but applied in a community setting where the focus was on showing up as oneself without pretenses, sharing vulnerably with our truest selves, and listening with care and responsiveness. I wanted people in every city and every country to have access to awareness, courage, and love chapters, just like Toastmasters or 12-step programs. So I asked 40 some colleagues to join me as volunteers. And ACL Global started as a grassroots project. What made this such a huge risk is that some of my closest scientist colleagues said I didn't have the data to show that this intervention was effective and that they could not support me in my endeavor. In fact, they asked me to stop the project. With Bob's support to collect data as we moved forward rather than waiting, I did so. And we now have members in 6 continents. But I lost some colleagues very dear to me who disagreed with my approach. What I gained has been remarkable, which is thousands of people telling me and my team how much they've been impacted by ACL and the ripple effect of that. We are still in the beginning stages of this movement, and I don't know how far it will spread. I like to think that this dream of mine that everyone be able to live with ACL will continue in future generations, long after I'm gone. And it's vulnerable and scary to care about something so much, to dedicate my life to it, and to have no idea what will happen to this dream. That's my story about turning to my light. And now I'd like you to focus on what your courage is calling for you to do in terms of turning towards your light. I invite you once again to go into a deep contemplative space. See if you can allow your wisest voice from the core of your being to come forth. If it helps you to jot down your answers, please do so. Otherwise, just enjoy the journey that I'm going to take you through and witness what comes up for you from the depths of your being and from the expanses of your mind. There are no right or wrong answers. What do you ache for? What is your heart's longing? What do you feel most passionate about? What are your most powerful strengths, gifts, superpowers? What are you being called to contribute to your community, to the world? How do you envision your best, boldest, most powerful, most loving self? And who can support you to be this best self? Just notice whatever came up for you. And whatever came up is just fine. Some of you are going to have blank responses, others, you'll have images that are clear but scary. Others of you know that you're well on your path and want to delve deeper. Whatever it is, thank you for considering these questions with me. In reality, these two paths of courage toward darkness and toward light are not mutually exclusive, but they are interconnected. Embracing our light often exposes some of our darkest fears, while confronting our darkness can lead to the greatest illumination of our lives. Courage, then, isn't just about bold actions in isolation. It's about the continuous interplay between light and darkness and our willingness to engage with both. As we navigate through life, remember the essence of courage doesn't lie in choosing one path over the other. Rather, it involves the continuous and conscious choice to face both the light and the dark. Each step that we take on either path not only taps into our courage, but also builds it, shaping us into more resilient, aware, and complete individuals. And as Mary Ann Rothmeyer said, courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the little voice at the end of the day that says, I'll try again tomorrow. In conclusion, I extend a heartfelt invitation for you to join our Awareness, Courage, and Love, or ACL, Global Change Seekers community. You will find a free link to join on my speakers page. This vibrant platform is dedicated to those who strive to meet life's challenges through deepening interpersonal connection and rising to live more true to themselves while addressing the worldwide epidemic of loneliness and isolation. Here, you'll find a community of like-minded individuals engaging with foundational content, participating in heart-opening interactions, exploring enriching monthly themes, live meditations, and deep dive self-exploration exercises. What sets us apart? As a research scientist, I make sure that our community is grounded in ongoing scientific research. And we're committed to modeling and fostering transformative growth through genuine, heartfelt interactions. We aim to build a space where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. Join us, and together we can transform our individual life journeys into shared voyages of discovery and growth. Together we can redefine what it means to belong, to matter, to grow, to contribute, and to harness our strengths for both interpersonal and community transformation. Together, we can strive to become the best and most authentic versions of ourselves and to help create a world enriched by more awareness, courage, and love. Please don't deprive me the privilege of connecting with you. I truly look forward to your presence in our Awareness, Courage, and Love Global Change Seekers community.